Hmm. Place an offer. What happens next? Let's assume you've done everything correctly. You've developed rapport with the sales agent. You've done all of your desktop due diligence, your physical due diligence. You have figured out the best way to possibly present an offer to this seller, and you've done so. There are three possible outcomes. The first thing is it can be accepted. The second thing is it can be rejected. The third thing is that you can come back with a counter offer. The sales agent can come back with a counter offer, in which case I've got an entire module here, module 7, on negotiations. And what happens there, we've also got a bit more about that there and lots of negotiation tips in module 7. However, we are currently in module 6. After you place an offer, what happens next? Accepted, rejected, or a counter offer. In a situation where there's multiple offers, brace yourself, it's about to get murky. We talked about multiple offers in a separate video, but you need to be told that there's multiple offers on the table, and you need to tell the sales agent that you acknowledge that by way of a form. If your offer is accepted, tell your conveyancer, book your inspections, get your finance arranged, and get all your ducks in order. And keep conducting due diligence because you have a 5-day cooling off period. If the sales agent calls you to discuss your offer, that's a good sign in a hot market. If the sales agent wants to start negotiations with you, excellent. It can be difficult because they may also be negotiating with other buyers. Yes, you're not the only person they're negotiating with. And that's where you can get a dagger to the heart. You can ask them, you say, are you negotiating with anyone else? What a great question to ask. The sales agent owns the process, and you will be in the dark as to what's going on. If the sales agent is negotiating with you, negotiations will continue until both parties reach an agreement or one of you decides to walk away. There are 3 ways you can find out more about what is actually going on. Ask strategic questions before you place your offer. Ask strategic questions after you place your offer, and then do so again whilst you're negotiating. The feedback from the agent. The agent may call you to say that the seller has reviewed your offer and wants to discuss flexibility in some way or another. You may need to be ready to react quickly if a sales agent calls you to discuss your offer, or else you might miss that window of opportunity. So they may call you and you might be in a meeting, or you might go, oh, I don't recognize that number. I'm not going to answer it. I'm eating dinner, in which case they'll call someone else. You know how sales agents are like on the phone. Did you call me? I'm calling you back. I'm sorry. I was busy with, I'm calling you back now. I'm sorry. It took 12 minutes. Be the same with them. Okay. As a buyer's agent, we're like, yep, tell me right now. I'm here. I'm not missing your call. If you're on the phone to somebody and they call, you're like, oh, that's really great. I need to wrap up because I've got no. The way you respond to a counteroffer depends on the state of the housing market. Is it a seller or a buyer's market? How perfectly the home aligns with your needs and goals and the results of your research. You can respond to the sales agent in these ways. You could be strategic about your price increments, a measured increase. If the seller gave feedback suggesting a higher price, increase your offer, but don't jump to your maximum unless absolutely necessary. Make a measured increase that shows you're willing to negotiate, but still leaves room for further movement. If the property is overpriced, you might hold firm or make only a small increase. Terms and conditions. Address seller concerns. If the agent relayed specific concerns from the seller, try to accommodate them if possible. Flexibility can be your greatest asset. If the sales agent is comparing your offer with someone else's offer, they get to choose who they're going to negotiate with, okay? They might say, these people seem to be more flexible. I'll approach them first, right? Minimize the conditions. You can actually, if your initial offer had multiple conditions, consider removing or relaxing some of them in your second offer. Stand firm on your essentials, though. Don't compromise on essential conditions, such as a building and pest inspection, unless you're absolutely comfortable with the risk. Communication and follow-up. Stay in regular contact with the agent. Don't be afraid to ask for an update and express your continued interest. Ask the agent for a timeline for the seller's decision. Keep records of all communications with the agent, including emails, text messages, and phone calls. Let them know that you are doing this. Let them know that you're doing that in an offhanded way so that they know that you're diligent. Let them know that you are keeping a record of everything. Highlight your strengths. Remind the agent of any advantages your offer has, and be patient, persistent. Negotiations can take time, but don't be afraid to follow up if you haven't heard back. In fact, follow up if you haven't heard back. Ensure the agent has a clear understanding of your interest in the home and let them know to check back with you before accepting any other offer. Walking away. If the negotiation isn't going your way and the vendor is being unreasonable on price, there will always be another home. Try not to get too emotionally attached. I know. This is not an investment property. This is not a financial asset. This is a home. Set your limits before you even make your first offer. Determine your walkaway price and any non-negotiable terms. Finally, recognize a bad deal. If the seller is unwilling to negotiate in good faith, or if the contract contains unfavorable terms, it's best to move on. There will always be another home. It might not. It might hurt for a while. Thank you very much for watching this video. That's the end of this module, and I'll see you in another video. Take care.